Hey traders, welcome back to IFX, and let's talk about all the additions that the EA has. Let's keep on going. So one of the major additions is that ignore filters. I really like this filter very much because it's going to really improve the EA entries and performance. So how does this work? Well, it's very simple. What it's going to do is we have three different strategies, and there were times with filters, of course. So the market is going down, maybe we have an entry right over here, and remember we have minimum distance. When we do averaging, we have minimum distance to enter in between trades, so if the market keeps on going lower, unfortunately, let's say we have maybe 40% to in distance, 40 pips, I'm sorry, to re-enter again, right? So but there were times when the filters didn't meet, especially maybe with RSI or anything else, any filter that we have set in here. Let's say now we have a 40 pips in distance and it's supposed to enter again, but filters didn't meet. So now using this filter, what it's going to do is that it's going to enter if a block happens. Of course, we need to have here, if we have 5-minute or 15-minute block, but it's going to ignore the rest of the filter. So then if a block happened, then it enters, and then the averaging happens. So then now all the trades will close. This one will close in here, and then this one will close in here, and then we're good to go. So why is this important? I think it's important because, again, there were times when the market was just coming down, right? It would enter in here, it would keep on going lower and lower and lower, and then by any chance it didn't meet the filters, then it would turn around, and then I would just have to wait maybe 30 pips or whatever to close that trade. But if we would have entered again in here, we would do averaging, and then maybe we just close this trade sooner, right, in case the market would turn around. So that's pretty much why we're using this filter. Again, it's really up to you if you want to use it or not, but I think it's very, very important. Now we have here another filter that I have added would be on filter number 1, which is going to be the higher time frames. Okay, so before we used to have only one time frame block right over here. It used to be only one. Now I have added a second one, which is going to be an extra confirmation, right? Do you need to do it all the time? No. Do you need to have two different time frames? No. So in here you see 1 hour and 1 hour, so you can leave 1 hour and 1 hour, or you can change the second time frame right over here. So it's very simple. If you want to say, hey, whenever there is a 1 hour and a 4 hour block, and usually now with the maximum days old, we're gonna go based on the highest time frame. So in here, let's say 15 days. So very simple. All we do is say whenever the market, we have a reversal block in 1 hour, we have a reversal block in 4 hours, at least 15 days old, right? Then you can enter on a block. Pretty much that is what's going to do. So I need to have two blocks, active blocks, going in the same direction in order for me to enter the market. Is it always going to be the best? No, of course not. The market is not perfect. Well, it's perfect for the market makers, but it happens. So that is very, very important. Now, if you choose in here, let's say 1 week, then the 1 week and older than that is not going to account the days old. This is going to be just, if it's 3 weeks old or 5 weeks old, is going to look into that only. This is going to be based on then the 1 hour block. So if I change this to 6 days old 1 hour block, and then the weeks is going to be whatever active week block that we have out there. So it's not going to really look for days, because of course days does not go with weeks. And the same thing with 1 month. So whatever you choose from week and month, again, is going to ignore the days. Then it's going to be based on the smaller time frame. You can choose any time frame that you want. And if you don't want to have different time frames, you can just leave it as this, 1 hour and 1 hour, and so on. Okay, so it's very simple. Higher time frame, 2 blocks going to the same direction. and then that's it. Now the other filter that we have that I made some changes was filter number 2, which was the daily mid-level. So before it was just the daily mid-level that we look at the prior day mid-level, but now we can change different days. So 1 meaning is the prior day, yesterday, right? If I change it to 2, it would be pretty much 2 days before, 2 days older, and so on and so forth. So it's very simple strategy. I've noticed that we can play around with that with some current entries. If you maybe we can talk about this on further examples that I can go, but mid-levels days, again, is just based on prior day mid-level strategies that many of you know already. So again, you can change this up to, let's say, 2 days. I usually maximum as 5 days old, but again, we're gonna go into more detail later on with this. So if you can change it up, you can leave it as 1. If you don't really know how it works, then you can wait until I make some videos, but it's very, very simple. We have here the mid-level. Let me just add it in here quickly, and then I can give you a quick example on how is it that it actually works. Mid-level, where is it? Let's just use here Bitcoin. So we have the mid-levels right over here. I'm gonna go into 1 hour. So the mid-level right here. So let's just say that I want to enter based on at least 2 days or 2 days, right? So if we're going to look in here, right, this is yesterday and this is 2 days old. So if the market happens to give us a sell entry below this day on this current day, then it's going to trigger an entry. It's going to actually sell because this acts as a resistance, and if it's below it, it's going to act as a support. So let's just say right over here that if I want to buy, I want to be at least above here, right? Above this support right over here. This acts as a support. So it could be that it could give me an entry in here. Why? Because this is 2 days old. I'm above it and it acts as a resistance support. So it will give me a buy entry. So that's pretty much what the EA for prior day mid-levels filter is going to work. All right, so let's keep on moving. We have another major difference in here, which is going to be an addition. It's going to be filter number 3. So it's very simple as well. Now what I did was we use prior close candle. How does this work? How does this filter work? Well, it's very, very simple. All we have to do is that we make it true, and let's say when here we can change it to daily, right? Let's just say for one example. So that means that if I have this to true is that, hey, look for entries that when the daily candle is bullish, look for buy entries, current day daily candle. But now, if I have this to true, use prior close candle as direction, what it's going to do is that if my prior day candle was bullish, then I'm going to look for buy entries, or vice versa. If it's bearish, if yesterday was bearish, then look for selling entries. Of course, this doesn't work always because, there are times when the market, let's just say, for example, if this is bearish, then I'm going to look for bearish entries for this day. But of course, there are times when, like the saying here, we have a bullish candle, but the market necessarily didn't go up on the next day. It actually went down. So we need to have a strategy behind this. But again, it's something very interesting that we can keep in there just in case we want to add it and see what the market can give us. So again, use prior close candle, meaning that we're gonna take in the direction of the prior day, or we can even use it as even smaller, 1 hour. My 1 hour candle, my previous 1 hour candle was bullish, then I can look for a bullish entry on the next 1 hour. Pretty much that is how it's going to work. Okay, so now we're gonna have a major change over here, which we have this one that I'm going to talk on the next video. which is going to be this filter number 10. Okay, so right over here we can add any indicator that acts as a support and resistance, and also that it actually has a buffers. If it doesn't have any buffers, then it's not going to work. So I'm going to talk about this further in detail on the next video. So stay tuned, like the video, and subscribe to the Telegram channel. So I will see you in the next video.